We go live, going live, and we're live, back on the Brotherland server. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. Here we are again, alive and well, back doing the thing. Ha ha ha. Okay, let me get everything else set up. That should be good. That should be good. Let's click that. Put that right there. Make sure everything's going well with that. It is 100% going well. Excellent, excellent. Getting here. Hello, hello, hello. Back on the Brotherland server. Actually, technically not on the Brotherland server. I know, intrigue, right? Intrigue, intrigue. So, we are technically in the downloaded... Oh, nope, that's the wrong button. I wanted to click this button. We're in the downloaded world of Season 2, and I found out that when you download this stuff, it looks... you can see it renders so much more. And that's fascinating to me. I'm like, oh, interesting. So you can actually see, look at that. You can see the portal in the distance right there. I'm circling it right now. And if you go over there, you can see that in the distance. It's actually one of my favorite spots down here. Ooh, let's fly down. This is the thumbnail here. And drop. Excellent. Thumbnail. Is it not torches here? There should be torches here. Oh, that's because, yes, I see what's going on. If you look here, okay, so we can, don't get all the way to the edge, there we are. Right there in the distance, right there, you can see it's the Guardian farm over there. Over here, see that little enclosure there, that's the turtle farm at our base. If you look right there, there's a little face right there, that's the iron farm, that's the portal on that side. That's the village in the sky, creating the shadow down there. It's all right here. It's all right. That's right where we're supposed to be. And this is technically not live since it's downloaded anymore. Oh, it's getting bedtime. Let's get that going, and then we'll do what we like to do. Okay. We have to wait for it to load. How are you guys? How's Sunday? How's the second Sunday? Yeah, second Sunday of June. It's fantastic. We're alive. We're well. And we've got some fun things. We've started season, for those who are interested, we started season 3 already. We've got some friends who are on there playing, starting setups, trying to set up the first base. It will come soon. You'll get to see season 3 is on the way, and we'll get that going. But for now, we've got this to work on a little bit, and to say goodbye, to look at the things we've done, and to move on to bigger, better, greater things, you know? Yeah. Oh man, it is a day, isn't it? It's Sunday. We're doing all the things that we want to do. All right, let's show. Yes, look at all of that. Yes. We'll do what we normally start by doing, by going out and getting stuff done. I don't think I need that, actually. Doing another line of basalt while we talk with you and see how life is going. How is it? Is Sunday going well? Have you started getting your tan on? Because that's where you do it, and you do it now. I've been going outside more and more just because it's so nice to go outside and to just relax, or to go on a nice walk. Walks are fantastic. I've been doing a lot of that. That's always fun. Also finished one of the jobs I had. That was it's nice to get done with a project and to move on to another project, right? What else? It's just a season. It's a season of change. You know, summer's around the corner. A lot of people doing summer camp, summer jobs, just having the time of their lives. You know, and I think that's pretty fantastic. That's pretty good. Although I think we talked about this last time. Mowing. Not a fan of mowing. Don't like doing that. But you know, it's got to be done. I've been reading comic books lately, and like graphic novels and comic books. They're pretty fun. If you have suggestions or things that you like, send them my way, because comic books are pretty interesting, and the art style is always something that I love doing. So yeah, I've been doing what's some new ones? The Something is Killing the Children. That's a fun one. Getting a little bit into the Marvel stuff. Ooh, Loki came out. Still need to watch that. That's an exciting adventure in and of itself. Yeah, and kind of trying to do more of this stuff. Playing a little bit more Minecraft, a little bit more of the other things. Doing a lot of personal projects too, of creating video reels and other things of the art that I was involved in. So trying to work on that. That's it's getting there. Slowly but surely, it's gonna get there. But yeah, it's a good day. Got my Hawaiian shirt on, got my pineapples to match because why not? It's a summer vibe, right? Ooh, I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys follow 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots released that Scale and Icy a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I guess it's old news by now, right? Because it goes so fast. But yeah, it's a great little summer album to listen to. Been listening to a lot of Spotify albums too, trying to get some new music in my life because music is fun. Music is good. Oh, another update from me. I run a board game company called Fun Certainty Box. They're on YouTube. Check them out. They're also on all the social medias. Fantastic. But we're hard at work with that these last couple of weeks, and so it's been good to have that project on the mind, working and doing all of that. So yeah. Plus, kind of things are opening up. People are going to go out, getting food. I've been exploring buffalo chicken wraps, and it pretty much feels like every single place does the same buffalo chicken wrap. And so, there's one that has one. I think the one that I just had yesterday was more of like a cheddar cheesy thing inside of there, and that's was pretty good. But I'm trying to explore more buffalo chicken, because it's pretty good. It's pretty tasty. It's just the spices and the wings. I've been eating a lot of wings and buffalo chicken wraps. Just kind of a good time, What else? Oh, this is one of those things, right? If you're aware, you're aware. I'm a person who talks kind of just off my brain. Whatever's coming is what we're gonna decide, and that's what we're gonna talk about, and that's what it's what's gonna happen, right? And I've been in a mood of retrospection lately, and it's nice. It's nice to look back and to be okay, cool. This is what's going on. This is kind of how life is going, and retrospection about the end of things is really interesting, right? I'm in that place where I'm finishing up things, I'm moving again, I'm trying to start season 3 of this, and then there's a lot of moments where you'll look back and you'll take some time to reflect on what did you do it well. This is something, especially for this thing, right? Looking back and saying, oh, wow, that was a very ambitious project, or it was very good, and it functioned pretty well. But at the same time, looking back and saying, oh, I didn't get to do that, or I didn't achieve as much as I wanted to. And that's always a thing of, I think it's important to have those moments of retrospection. Like I had a chance to go talk to one of the teachers of my time here. And the same question of, where do you see this place going in a couple of years? What do you think some of your biggest successes were? Some of the biggest, and that's one of the questions I asked. I was like, well, what was successful? What was unsuccessful? Where am I going? What should I work on in the future? And having those moments and sitting down and doing that is really good. Is really useful. I think just in general, to take that moments of your life from time to time and to sit down and say, okay, where am I? How am I doing? What am I doing? What should I be doing? Right? It's very, 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 very useful, I think. That was a lot of varies. How many varies was that? Very, 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 very useful. Yeah. And the other, I think it also helps because then you can kind of start thinking about what you want to do, right? If you know where you've come from, you can kind of know, you kind of plan out where you're going to go. And actually, there's a post this morning about sayings. This is switching topics a little bit, but different sayings that people, quote just as a soundbite that aren't necessarily the best of advice and sayings. Like, what was one? Oh, you just need to grow up. And I don't know that that's 100%. Oh, look, we're in line with the village. And we still got half a way to go. Look at this. This is fascinating. I don't know what it is, but when you're in the server, I don't think you can see that far out. I think it's like zoomed in. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why all of a sudden I can see more. Maybe, well, because it's downloaded, so I feel like it's got to be a little bit easier to see. I don't know what it is, but that's, yeah. When I logged in, I was like, oh my goodness, I can see everything. Everything's a lot closer than I thought it actually was. But the distance of everything is still the same, I think. I don't know. No, so, there's sayings that we quote all the time that the advice is good, but it's not necessarily the perfect advice all the time. Like something like, the perfect person is out there, just wait and you'll see. Or you'll know it's the perfect you'll just know when the right person walks into your life. Which, there is soundness. I think all advice needs to be taken in context, right? Because sometimes when we just quote it or we just say it, it doesn't make sense. One of them that I like to live by is, and I think it's originally a passage from the Bible, which is, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Which is it's pretty good advice. But I like to change it to be, don't let your anger fester for longer than 24 hours. And that's kind of, you shouldn't, because what happens if you get into a fight at 9 o'clock? Huh? Sun's already down. How are you supposed to handle that? You can't handle that because the sun's already down. So you can't let the sun go down on your anger because you're already angry. Nighttime. Nighttime heightens. Why is there... Okay, well, I see. That was rotten flesh. There was a zombie nearby. And look, there's the portal that we came out of. Oh, look at this retrospection here. Let's put these 13 down. That portal is where we came through. When we finished season 1 and we went to season 2, we went to the nether a really, really long distance and then came out of that portal. And then now we're here. Look at us. We're back to the roots. So don't let the sun go down on your anger, or don't go to bed angry is another version of that same quote. And it's good advice to say, hey, resolve your problems and make sure that you don't let it fester inside of you and you don't hold a grudge. It's solid advice, solid advice. But at the same time, if you don't go to bed angry and you just try to resolve conflicts all the time at that one time, you're almost too quick to forgive, and then there's almost no time to explore anything else. You're just kind of looking at it and you're like, oh no, it's totally fine. And sometimes it's okay to be angry. Like it conflicts with the other one of don't go to bed angry as opposed to sleep on it. Sleep on it, wake up with a fresh pair of eyes. You've seen the thing, you're looking at it again, and now you get to decide, okay, yeah, I wasn't angry about that, or I am angry about that, or this is what upset me and I should go, talk to that. But just because it's a soundbite, kind of a soundbite, a bit of advice, you just say, hey, don't go to bed angry, or don't let it be 24 hours while you're angry, isn't good advice just by itself, if you know what I mean, right? Like you wouldn't want to keep that just in its own right. You would want it to be a framing context of what's going on. And the same thing, and so some of these advices that you hear can be misleading or can be a little bit tougher right? I know I said one this morning. To err is human, to forgive divine, right? And that's kind of explaining that, as humans, we're going to make mistakes. That's just what we're going to do. That's part of the condition of the human condition. We make mistakes, but to forgive is divine. That's what elevates us above everything else, which is true. Sure, it is harder to forgive. It's harder to forgive people who make mistakes, but I don't think you want to forgive everybody, right? You want to make sure that you're on good terms, but sometimes it's hard to do that, and sometimes there are things that kind of not necessarily. There's some things that are really hard and if not impossible to forgive. Now that I've said that, let me think about that. I don't know where I fall on this. Right? That's a hard. I don't know. Are there things that are impossible to forgive? I can think of several examples, but then the inside of me say, no, you shouldn't ever hold a grudge permanently. I don't know. That's the jury's still out on that one, right? Like and another piece of advice, right? What's it called? You'll know it's the right person. You'll just know when it's the right person, or the perfect person is out there. Just wait. That one always bothered me, because usually that's given in a time of like, oh, I know you're lonely, but hey, the perfect person is out there. Just wait for them and they'll show up. Which to me, okay, because I'm slightly psychotic, not in a completely bad way, but kind of. I'm manic. I have to do things all the time. I cannot sit still. I cannot sit and not be doing something productive. If I go a whole day without doing something productive, the next day is very stressful, because I'm like, nope, I messed up. I should have been doing something productive and I wasn't. And that could be upbringing, that could be just, interior default, but that's one of the things that I struggle with / succeed in, is that I have to be doing something productive. I'm always working on something. Like, okay, I need to, and my calendar, I like to fill up my calendar as soon as possible and get everything scheduled. I'm like, all right, cool. I said this, cool. I will not have any time to think or do anything else. All right, let me take a break to sip. We did another line. We'll probably do another line. We'll do another line and discuss more of these topics. If you've got a topic that you want to discuss, or you have a quote, talk to me about it. Let's do it. All right. So because I'm very busy, I'm constantly trying to do something and make it work, get all my work done, right? Okay. Gas. Go. It becomes not forgiving only hurts yourself, nobody else. Yeah, that's true. I wanted to jump on the other point. There's another point that I found. Yes, because, and this is a fascinating quote that was told me. People don't think of you as often as you think they do. Most of the time, people are only thinking about themselves, or they're only worried about their own perception and how people are thinking about them. So by you not forgiving and thinking about them and doing all that, they're probably moved on. They probably don't even think of anything that happened or anything else. They're out and they're constantly, they're on to the next thing. They're not thinking about you and thinking about, that one situation. But because you are locked on that thing, there's that. We're waiting for the elevator. That's what we're doing. I'm not done. Yeah, so no, I agree with that. No, not forgiving only hurts yourself, nobody else. Absolutely. It's an internal thing that you're putting inside yourself, and you're not letting that heal and develop. You're just focusing on that, and you're letting that. Now, I am not a psychologist, and I do not have it worked out. I am a young 23, and I'm still working on what this whole life thing is about, and how to do it good. How to do it good. How to do life good. How to do life well. So that's hard, and the process of getting to a point where you can forgive somebody is just not impossible, but it's very, 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 very difficult to do that. And so I'm not saying that you should do that, but it is kind of on you. It's gonna hurt you because nobody else knows that you haven't forgiven somebody. Nobody else knows that you're thinking about that, because we can't read our thoughts yet. I say yet because maybe we will be able to read each other's thoughts in the future. Another point, like, to that, right? So not forgiving only keeps it inside you. So it's you know that you've not forgiven them, but nobody else can tell. I mean, they can tell if you look at them and they can tell that there's the vibe. The vibe is off. I'm usually pretty good with picking up people's vibes. I'll see somebody, I'm like, ooh, something is going on behind the surface and something's affecting them. I would consider that because I'm empathetic. But jealousy, right? Not forgiving, it's only you. Jealousy is also technically only a personal trait. It's only inside. This is a conversation I had recently with somebody. Jealousy only affects you and is driven from something inside of you. Most of the time, as a way of you thinking that you are in some way inept or some way lacking in something that somebody else has, right? So if you get jealous, so for instance, let's say your friend begins to this is a great example. This is the one that hits me most of the time, right? You open up social media and you see that somebody is doing something, like attending a party or having some sort of event, and you see a friend on there who is who you thought was a close friend of yours, and there's this whole event and a lot of people are there, but you weren't invited, nor did you know about it, but now you're seeing this, right? This is a big problem on social media. We see there's kind of like the outsider jealousy, where you're like, I wasn't invited to that. Oh, and then you start feeling jealous. You're like, man, they must not like me, or I must be doing something wrong, or da-da-da-da-da-da, right? You go through all these excuses. Again, that's something internally that's not, you can say, I hate them. They were the bad friends. They didn't invite me. I wasn't allowed to be a part of this. But in actuality, it's more of something internally where you think that you aren't worthy enough of it, or that there must be something wrong with you for them not to have invited you. So you get jealous and you say, you start feeling that emotion. But again, it's personal. It's derived from something else. Like if you get I'm trying to think, like a past relationship, right? You have an ex and your ex starts dating somebody who you think is hotter than you, right? And then all of a sudden you get jealous of them. You're like, I can't believe they would do that. Or I'm like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish I hadn't, let them go. Again, and that's usually derived off of a personal connection of maybe you aren't as confident in your self-worth as you thought before. Jealousy comes from insecurity. Yes, absolutely. Jealousy comes from insecurity. And I would say I would open it up to more than just insecurity. It's a combination of doubt and insecurity. Doubt about yourself and insecurity about that you're not this. Okay, let me backtrack. This is one of the things that I've been working on this year is self-worth and self-image. Right? It's a hard thing, especially right now in our day and age. That's a fun saying if we were to try to break it down. Our day and age. Anyways, our day and age. Self-worth is a big talk right now. We're defining that, and we're trying to break down some of these more stereotypical social events and social things, right? We talk about body positivity, and we talk about self-worth and talents and allowing people to be themselves and to explore themselves and to not judge them based on what they're doing, but allowing them to be something unique, something proud, something confident. And so that self-worth is, coming more to the surface, and we're allowing conversations to happen, right? we talk more about mental health these days than ever before. Even when I was in high school, like, it was more of a shut up, you're fine, or oh, you're sad, get over yourself. So, and now the conversation's moved, and I think it's a much better time to be alive and to be able to say that. Now, there's some people who will complain and say, oh, it's not as good, everyone's got so many more rules, you have to be so much more careful about what you have to say. But in general, it's a better time. But to answer that jealousy, right, it does come from an insecurity. It's because in some way you want, because there's jealousy, and then there's, being green, and then coveting, which is a very, no one uses coveting in the day-to-day language. No one's saying, oh yes, I'm covetous about what you have. More jealousy, I think, is a better word, and I think that's but because jealousy leads to covetousness. Like, if you jealous that your neighbor got a new lawnmower, that's really nice. You're like, man, I wish I had that lawnmower. As opposed to covetousness, which is, I want their lawnmower, which is not the same thing at all. It's not, you're not going out and you're like, yes. Just because, like, if you see your ex, that can be more, I wish I want to get back with my ex. Jealousy can lead to that, right? And jealousy, yes, I think definitely comes from insecurity. You are, in some way, something about inside you. You think you're not stacking up, or you punish yourself for something that you don't need to punish yourself for. Everything, I think, comes down to envy and jealousy are the same. If not, what's the difference between envy and jealousy? Let's finish the point on that. Yeah, so it's all about a framing perspective. I talked to somebody and they said that the truth is a matter of perspective, which to me, internally, I wanted to, like, pipe up and say, no, wait, you're wrong. But your perception of what is truth is sometimes a matter of your perception of that is a perspective issue. Right, we talk about, like, do I want to dive into that, or do I want to explore? Let's come back to perception of truth and that. Envy and jealousy, are they the same? Envy, I don't know. Yeah, it's usually green with envy, or you're being jealous. I like that, nowadays, if you're talking to someone under the age of, I don't know, even like 30 or something, they call it jelly. I'm jelly. Instead of jealous. They don't write out the whole word, it's usually jelly. I say jelly. Anyways, I don't know if that's everyone's case, but I say jelly. Envy and jealousy feel like they're the same. I feel like it's just two different words to mean the same thing, and maybe there's a subtle, like a slightly different taste to each of the words, if that makes any sense. There's a little bit of one is more of one thing and one is more of the other. So envy is wanting to, envious. Your example of the party is more envy, I think. Yes, I think that is you're wanting more of that. Yeah, you're wanting, I think maybe it's more defined on the context, right? If, for the party example, right, you weren't invited to a party, but all your friends are there, or a lot of your friends are there. That is a situation that you wish you were invited to that thing. You wish you were participating in that. Whereas jealous is more of, oh, hey, my best friend has a better body than me, and I'm jealous that they have a better body than me. It's still relating to you, but one removes the want, if that makes any sense. Envy means you wish you were, and then I think jealousy is I wish I had. I think that's a good definition of why one is one and one is the other. Yeah, jealousy is definitely I wish I had that. I'm jealous, because people say that all the time, right? I'm jealous of your hair. Oh man, I'm jealous of your car. As opposed to envy is, I envy your situation. Or I envy that. Again, envy, is not as common as jealousy. I think we use jealousy more often than we use envy, right? But I'm envious of you. That is, I wish I were in your place. Or I wish I was in a situation like yours. Whereas jealousy is, I wish I had what you have. I wish I was able to do what you do. If I'm envious of, okay. If somebody knows how to play guitar better, are you envious of them playing guitar better, or are you jealous of how they play? I think it's jealous. I wish I had the talent that you possess to play your guitar, as opposed to I wish I were in your shoes of playing guitar. That doesn't work. Yeah, so I think envious is wanting to be in a situation or wanting to be in their shoes, and jealousy is wanting to possess whatever they possess. I think that's a better example. I think that's the difference between envy and jealousy. I think it's more of a how it's used in the English language. So I don't know. Do you agree? Would you disagree? Is envy and jealousy a different definition for you in your mind? Because that's the best one that I can come up with, right? In terms of perception of truth, right? This matter of being perceptive, right? We talk about jealousy and envy, right? You wish you were thinking of the situation as if you were in that place. That you were like, I wish I was there. Okay. My fingers forgot how to do this for a second. Okay. Yeah, you wish you were in their place. You wish you were doing something with the same thing, right? It's a matter of perspective, right? As opposed to being grateful for what you have and who you are, right? It's a framing issue. That everything, you can think of it in a different light, or you can think of your life in a certain way, right? And people talk about truth being truth is just a matter of perspective. It comes down to some of this English language big words that kind of are ominous or vague in their meanings, right? So for instance, we talk about love, right? But love is such an ambiguous word in the English language that you can say you love pizza, you can say you love your mother, you can say you are in love with your girlfriend or your wife, or you can, if I can say I love you to my best friend, but I can also say I love you to a potential partner. And it's not defined enough to where you can say, oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You can kind of tell by context, but it's hard, right? And the same thing, so that's a vague word. And same thing with truth. I think truth is another vague word of like, everyone's got an idea of what truth is and what it's defined as, right? So if you were to say, like, that answer is true or false, what are you really saying? As opposed to, I'm living my truth, or I'm trying to portray the truth. What does that mean? Are you saying the cosmic truth, the objective truth of the universe? Or something else, like, gravity is true, but gravity changes and fluctuates. But just because something else, that's not necessarily not truth, it's just a matter of perception and perspective. So it's hard, I think it's one of those words that's really hard to define. What is truth, right? But one of the conversations we were having was, the truth lies somewhere in the middle of the extremes, right? So, for instance, right now we're kind of going through a COVID thing. Okay, sorry, I need another drink. I need another sip to get my throat wet. All right, excellent. Again, matter of perception, right? So, for instance, this is a polarizing debate right now for everyone here in the United States. Not everyone, but most people. Right, the main course, and see, there it is. Yeah. Okay, the main topic right now is, should you get vaccinated? Should you not get vaccinated? Right. There are surveys that say that you should, surveys that say that you shouldn't. People believe that it's, microchips. People believe it's just a normal vaccine. People say that the mRNA is going to go inside you and change everything. On other people believe that it's gonna do nothing. It literally just puts a protein in and does that, right? So there's all of these different opinions, and sometimes again people claim it as fact. That this is what they read. People publish these things. You get that, and to assume that one is right and the other is wrong is something that we naturally do. But at the same time, the truth, right, air quotes, here, I'll do air quotes, the truth of what it is about it is somewhere probably in the middle. It's probably that, or it's probably a combination. Maybe it's that way for a specific person, or that's way for a specific demographic. Same thing of, where the virus started. I don't necessarily want to get into this 100%. Fine talking about it if you want to talk about it. But it was created and dropped as a weapon, and then it got out of control, or it was, entirely calculated, blah, 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 or it was an accident and this is just something that's happening. And all these new strains is just them testing to see whatever else, right? You can go down all these rabbit holes. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. What is really happening is somewhere between everything. And I would agree with that. I would agree that, we won't really know the answer. But that, to me, isn't too scary. I don't feel like I need to know the answer. I'm content with what it is I'm allowing myself to see and believe. But that's not necessarily the same for everyone. Some people are desperate. Should we do another line, or should we do bone meal? Well, let's do another one. I'm having a good time. Are you guys having a good time? Are you okay? Do you want to hear this heavy stuff, or would you rather talk about something fun? What's going on? What are you thinking? Because I'm down to keep discussing this if you want to, but let me know. Yeah, so it's just a matter. It is a matter of perspective, I think, and it is important. I think the most important thing is to keep an objective mind. Now, I think some people would also disagree with me on that specifically, because we're always in a place of balance and dichotomies, right? Being so objective that you're seeing all the sides and allowing that means that you're sacrificing, I guess, a belief of yours a little bit. Not 100%, but if I'm a person who's accepting a bad perspective, sorry, I can't draw here, use your imagination. There's a big 6 drawn on the ground. One person stands on the bottom of it and says 6, the other stands on the top and says 9. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then the person to the left of it sees a fish with what is the truth? That is a good point. Bad perspective. Yeah, standing at the top of 6, standing at the bottom of the 6. It's a 9. And I think that's where we get into the issue. Yeah, I think that's a good point of, looking at one, seeing one, looking at the other. It's the same thing of the other fun example of that, right? That's a very simple, easy one to follow. But there's also the other amount of things. It's those images. I think there's actually a film company that does it. There's a film company that has that same thing. It's like a very weird object that's got a bunch of lines and stuff, and then when you look at one end of it, it's very clearly. Well, I guess I can demonstrate it here. We'll demonstrate this logic using Minecraft. Using Minecraft. Beep, beep, beam. Bump, bump. Dink, dink, dink. Follow with me on this example. This is a teaching moment. Alright, I have just made an object. This is an object that I've made, right? So if we go over here, and we look at this object here, what do we see? Here, I'll stand up so we can see it as intended. We see the letter I, right? So if you were sitting on this side, you'd see the letter I. But then if you run over here and look at it from this direction, you see the letter H, which is just an I flipped over, by the way, in case you didn't know. If we were to turn the screen like this, if we were to look at it this way, it would also be an I, but a little funky. Right, so we have a letter H over here, and we run to this side, we take a look at that, now we see the letter I. What is the truth of this? Is this an H or an I? Is it both? It's both if you understand, because you're like, oh hey, well I can see both sides, or I know that from this side it looks like this, and this side it looks like that, so there we go, I know the truth, it's a combination of both. Oh, I should have looked at it from the top, oops. If you look at it from the top, it's also a matter of framing, right? One side would look like an H, one side would look like an I. So that's for the visual learners, right? The people who can't just listen to a thing and understand. There you go. That was a little visual example of what we're talking about. So I don't know. I don't know what the truth is, and I don't know what that question means, I guess, in that situation, right? About seeing the 6, seeing the 9, seeing the H, seeing the I. I don't think there is, in terms of truth, I don't think that there is one or the other. I don't know that that's a 9 or that's a 6. I think it's a symbol, you know, but I think it's easier to say what the truth is when you simplify it or abstract it into a larger general thought, right? So the wider out you go, the easier it is. You know, to say that that's an H or an I, again, you will be wrong if you're standing on one point, or if somebody disagrees with you. But if I were to say that if I quantified it more into its objective things, if like that was 20 blocks placed in arrangement, that is hard to argue with. Again, but it's only if you see it from the side, or if you can see it as an entire thing. Being right and know the truth, is it the same? I don't think so. Knowing the truth and being right, see, because when we go into right and wrong starts dealing with morality and societal rules. There's a good book by C.S. Lewis called C.S. Lewis, the same person who wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? Narnia. Wrote Mere Christianity, and he talks about this. Talks about objective morality, that every person inside of themselves automatically knows if something is right or wrong. Now, the framing of that is different. For instance, I can believe that eating cheese on Sunday is the right thing to do. And if I don't eat cheese, if I can just sense in my heart that I need to do this is the right thing to do. And I should tell people to eat cheese on Sunday, right? I understand that to be inside, that's just the truth. Some people will not, my feeling of right? You shouldn't lie. That's a morality thing. You shouldn't lie. Why? Because it's wrong. Because inside you can feel that that's the wrong thing to do. Now, do we do that? Yes, we go against that, and so as a result of us going against what we feel is wrong, we're still choosing to do that, but we have an idea that, oh no, what I'm doing is wrong, it's incorrect, based off something inside us, right? So, being right and being wrong, but the truth of it is, the truth is a harder thing, right? Let's focus on lying, right? Lying, you can feel is wrong. Some people can feel that lying is wrong, or maybe it's only wrong in a specific situation, right? You shouldn't lie at all, but you maybe are allowed to lie if it's to do with somebody else's feelings and you don't want them to get hurt. There are people who are truists and say, no, you should never lie. Like, not truists, but purists. Purists. You should never lie. Well, okay, but what if, do you really want, like, what if it's going to break their heart, or what if it's going to go, you're sparing their feelings because otherwise it's going to be painful. And so is that okay to lie in that situation? Or what if it's a matter of life and death, and you're held at gunpoint and you're asked, they're asking you, hey, where are your children? Tell us where your children are right now. And if we go and we don't find them, we're gonna, if we go and once we find them, we're gonna kill them. But you gotta tell me where your children are. And if you lie to me, then you can lie in that. And if tell me where your children are. If we go and don't find your children, we're gonna kill you. In that sense, you kind of want to save the life of your children. So again, depends on your, I would hope you would do that, right? But if they ask where your children are, and if you lie to them, then they're going to shoot you. Should you lie to them, or should you tell them the truth? I would hope that you would say that you should lie to them to protect your children, because, children are, nice, I think. Sometimes they can be nice. I don't know, where was I going with that? So no, I think there's a difference between being right and being the truth. Just because you're right doesn't mean you're closer to the truth, or vice versa. Just because you know the truth doesn't mean you're right, because that is defined on society and also internal morality. So I don't think that's I don't think they're the same. I think being right is just, well, that's again, it can be framed as a morality or not morality. But the same thing can be said about, the answer being right and wrong. It's just a matching of whatever situation or circumstance. You can have the right answer, but be wrong? I don't know. It gets gray, right? We get so much of our life is undefined, and for me, it's always laughable for people. I always laugh when people are like, I got it all figured out. I was like, no one has everything all figured out. We're all just, we're all on this rock. We're all on this little planet with some puddles and some trees. We're trying to figure it out. There's not a, and you get into these things where it becomes so, back and forth. Sorry, I was the 6 to 9 example when I asked that about being right and being the truth. Don't apologize. That was a good question. It's a great question. Being right versus being the truth. There's just so much. I think we run into issues with other humans. Let's say that, right? Other humans, we run into issues when we get to a moment where it becomes unyielding. Right, and I again read some great books on this. Conflict occurs when people aren't willing to compromise. And sometimes you don't need to compromise. Sometimes you need to stand your ground and say, no, this is what I'm doing. This is the right thing to do. Fine, great, defend that. But know that there's going to be conflict. Conflict isn't necessarily always bad. I think people will misframe that. Oh no, we don't want any conflict. I want to avoid conflict. I just want to be a peaceful person and never have anything that's going to, bother me or, affect me in that way. I don't want conflict. Conflict isn't bad. Conflict resolution is very important for people and for skill as a skill. But conflict isn't inherently bad. Conflict arises because of a lack of compromise, or a lack of compromise leads to conflict. A lack of compromise leads to conflict, and or a matter of a disagreement, right? That you both see different truths, or you both think a different way is right, that you disagree. And so as a result of that, there is conflict that occurs. And that's not bad. It's not a bad thing to be in conflict with somebody. But if you want to get out of that, you just need to figure out what to compromise on and figure out, okay, well, that's what you believe, and that's your, that's your opinion. So how can I meet you? And I think so many times with all the things that we do, we end up being stuck in a place where we refuse to change or refuse to see other people's point of view. I mean, think about all the things that have happened, in this last year, especially with all the, with all the social justice and trying to get equality and rights for people. Is that because we are unwilling to accept, and we are unwilling to see things outside of a certain perspective, where we just make assumptions and say, no, that's not what it's like. You don't know. You don't understand. And being unwilling to change, and I'm being unwilling to find that is what leads us to conflict. Is what leads us to to tearing each other apart, and having our feelings escalate to the point where we're so polarized that we have two sides that will just cannot seem to ever get along because they just refuse to accept that anything outside of that their truth is the only one, that I'm seeing a 6 and it is a 6 and there's no other questions, and I will not have a discussion with you ever about it because you're stupid if you think it's a 9. You're stupid. How can it be anything? I'm looking at this, it's not possible. It is not, you're attacking me, and you're taking away my rights because I see it's a 9, and to say it's anything else is just ridiculous. Sorry, sometimes it gets kind of hits in a weird place with that, right? Ooh. But that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just to sit down and to say, okay, well, talk to me. How do you see it's a 6? Well, come over here. Come over here, stand where I'm standing, and tell me if you see a 6. And then we get to the middle where things are what they're supposed to be, and we're all together. I don't know. I'm a cockeyed optimist. Yeah. Wow. We got into some philosophy there, some heavy philosophy about right, wrong, objective morality, and all the things. We're playing Minecraft. We're playing Minecraft, talking philosophy, but I like that. I don't think. Ooh, I'm shaking the camera. Sorry about that. I don't think there's ever a moment where you should. I don't know. There's a moment to be. There's a moment to be happy. There's a moment to be relaxed. Moments to talk about anything else, but just take it. Roll with the punches, my friends. All right. 3 lines. I don't know if I have another line in me. I kind of just want to explore a little bit. Show you this world. Oh, see, look at that. There's a ruined nether portal, and the new. Oh man, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. This new update is fantastic. There's so many cool new things that you can see. Like, for instance, let's go over here. I bet we can find a goat. There's new things in this game where it can be a goat. We can talk more about philosophy as well. Alright, where's the goats? Show me the goats. We gotta come in here and we gotta let it load. Gotta let the animals spawn. I bet we'll find a goat. What about you? What? Ooh, was that a goat or was that a tree? I think that was a tree. What's a burning question that you've always had trouble wrapping your head around? For me, it's one of the hardest things to wrap my head around is this idea of unconditional love. I have no clue how to think about that. I have no way of wrapping my head around that concept because it just does not make sense to me. How can you love something even though it hurts you? and even though like it doesn't make sense, like that's it's never gonna change. It's never like that thing or that person or whatever else just forever loves you, and you can't do anything to remove that. It doesn't. It feels very. I don't know. That's one of the things that I've always struggled with. I don't know how to think that. What about you? What's one of the things that's been a hard thing to understand and wrap my head around? I don't see any goats. I want goats. Not sheep and cows and llamas. Goats. There's a goat. Ooh, a goat. Hello, goat. How are you? We're chilling with this goat. Come back. Go to the goat. Hello, goat. You're very cute. You're a very cute goat. Can you jump? Can you jump for me? I really want to see you jump. Look at that. This is new, by the way, for people who don't know. This is in the new update. That these are goats and they jump very high. Oh! 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 Did you see that? What does a goat drop when it's... Should I kill the goat? I should probably kill the goat. Goat, what are you gonna drop? You dropped nothing? Well, there we are. Yeah, unconditional love has always been one that I'm like, I don't know how to think about that. I don't know how to make that make sense in my brain. So, I try not to think about it because that's too hard and too scary to think about. That's it. Did it drop anything? I don't think it did. It dropped a hole. Yeah. Retrospection, right? Think about balance and all these things and being able to look back on your life and say, hey, that was a good time or that was a bad time. Or that's the hardest. It's the hardest one for me, is allowing yourself the thought and the room to grow. So looking back at some of these old videos, even on this channel, retrospection. This is episode 25, and we've gotten a lot better at doing this thing since the first video. If you go back and check out the first video, it's rough. But this video is probably a little bit better, and we're learning. We're getting things. It's getting better every time because we figured out how to do it and how to do it well. But even still, like I found an old channel of mine that I used to run about kind of like this. I've talked about it before, where you just share your thoughts and you just keep going. It's just free writing. Kids will make you understand the unconditional love. I mean, when you get your own kids. When I get my own kids, I'm gonna just find them and take them and get them. I'm gonna have my own children. The English language. I mean, probably that might happen. If I have kids, if I decide to have kids, that's just a choice that I'll have to make. Oops, sorry, scandalous. Button undone. So, where was I? Sorry. Oh, old channel. Found an old channel, looked at it, I was like, oh my goodness, it's so cringy. Looking back on it, I'm like, oh, what was I doing? What was I saying? These opinions are dumb. I know I can look back on the other things. As a performer, I'm always looking back. Go get them. Go get the children. I can, but I don't think society approves of, just getting children. You shouldn't. I don't know. Looking back on old videos, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was so cringy. I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I said that, or it's just so difficult, right? To look at some of these things. I'm like, oh, I need to be better about that, or I need to, work on my delivery. And okay, we can do one more time. It's gonna be great. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. But looking back and allowing yourself the idea that you can grow, that you are better and you're slowly getting more and more, you're developing, you're learning, you're adapting, and allowing the old to be there, but not to beat yourself up over it, is kind of where I'm going with that. Is that it's okay. It's okay to start somewhere and keep going, because the more you keep doing it, the more talent and skill you'll grow and possess with it, right? You know, episode 25 is going to look so much better than episode 1. And episode 100 is going to look so much better than episode 25. It's just a matter of perspective, right? You can see, if you look at the squiggle and you look back, you're like, oh man, I've been making YouTube videos now for 3-4 years with intermittent breaks and just videos in general. I've been trying to, make videos and work on projects and other things, and they're getting better and they're evolving, but it takes time. And one of the helpful things, right? I listen to, I watch other creators and other people, listen to listen to audiobooks. I'm always absorbing information. And one of the people who I watched, and I was watching their live stream, and they clipped a nice bit of it, and they said, the main thing, if you want to do this, if you want to live stream and you want to do something like that, you have to do it because you enjoy it. You have to do it because you enjoy doing it, and you shouldn't do it for the views or for the money or for the fame or anything else. Do it because you like doing it. Do it because that's something you want to do. Don't have a motivation of going to do this because you want money and you want fame. If you're going to do that, then you're going to get burnt out, or you're gonna like, I don't really feel like it today. Do it because you want to. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy playing. I enjoy creating and sharing and talking philosophy. And is it a good niche? I don't know. I think there are people out there who would enjoy something like this. And can it grow? Absolutely. It's going to take time and it's going to take effort. And that's okay. And looking back, you can see things that have influenced. This is we talked about this as a really good question of, if you could get rid of all your memories in order to never forget anything ever again, you would have to delete all your memories now, but you would, from that point, never be able to forget anything. Would you do it? And a lot of people answer no. A lot of people answer that they wouldn't give up their memories because that's who they are. They care about their family, their friends. They don't want to just live and have forgotten everything that they've gone through. Even though there are things in their past that's traumatic or not as good, they still value the things that are happening now, and they're still valuing what they are and what they want. And that's true. You can't. Okay, see, I just said that's true. But is it the truth, or is it just a perspective? Right? A matter of perspective. I answered the first time, I think I answered that I wanted to. That I would, because I don't like forgetting. I don't like not knowing what I've done, and I want to be able to remember everything. And would I forget everything? Yes. Would that be sad? Yes. Would I be devastated? Probably. But then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about anything that I've done. And I'd have to start fresh. And someone brought up a really good point recently when I asked them this question, is that you would be robbed of that experience. And so it's a good counterpoint both ways. If you were to delete all your memories and continue with your life, you would not know that you feel bad anymore. So that's a bit of a comfort, right? If you were to delete it, the new you would have no regrets, and you'd move on. And so, but that's kind of what makes us human. And so then we would be looking at this and we would be thinking, wow, you wouldn't know the advantage that you're gonna have. You would just know it as a new reality. And that's interesting. That's fantastic. I like this music. This kind of makes me feel like I'm Michael from Vsauce. If you forget, are you really forgetting? I don't know what that was. Sorry. we're out here. We're having fun on a Sunday. Sunday fun day, as they say, right? Yeah. They're just good questions. And again, you shouldn't take this. This is always something that I try to tell people. Don't take this stuff too seriously. You know, muse on it, think about it, try to find a truth. If something hits you and you move on and you're deciding to say, okay, hey, that's actually really good. Or, ooh, that makes me think about other things. Great, do it. See, now the music's changed to fit the next piece of it. Or maybe I'm changing subconsciously to have what I say fit what the music is. But going out and you know, musing on this all the time it's good to talk about it, and it's fun to have these discussions, and they make for a great late night conversation or a great, you know, 3-hour conversation over beer. All memories, including your language. Well, not all memories. I was saying in the question that I usually ask, you would erase everything to baby level? No, not baby level, just functional human level, but with no experiences except for like automatic natural like imagine Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're on the very base. You know how to get food, water, rest, you know how to breathe, you know how to talk. It's just everything else, all your memories of where you were, what you've been, you understand kind of, okay, this is my apartment, this is all things, but anything beyond that personal, you wouldn't know. Actually, it'd be more fun if you just woke up and you're alive and you're doing the things, but you don't know, like, you don't know if this is your apartment, you don't know if this is, you're like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on, right? Now the fun music is gone, and I was gonna talk about how you shouldn't take this stuff too seriously. Man, oh well. No, don't take it. I know people who love to philosophize about this, and that is their entire personality. Is that they always bring up these conversations, and they push you and push you and push you into accepting some sort of worldview or going into that, or it's just this whole thing. And I'm like, you don't need it to be this crazy thing that is about you all the time, or to go through it and be able to say, oh, hey, that's a fun thought. I don't know where I fall on that. Okay, well, moving on. You know, so don't let these types of conversations, you know, stick with you in your brain permanently, unless you want them to, and unless those conversations somehow help you discover something new about life. But I think it's more of a connection with the person, right? You're watching something, and then you're sitting with them. You're like, yes, okay, cool. I think I understand a little bit more about how you work and how you operate. Or interesting that we would think that. I didn't know that was the case. That's my opinion. That's just like my opinion or whatever, man. And yeah, so, you know, I can only sleep at night. You can only sleep at night. I can only sleep at night. That's not true. You can sleep all the time. You can take naps. Naps are great. Naps are fun. I like naps. I want to take a nap now. I just like the feeling of a nap. Because a nap means that you're able to continue on with your day. It's like a little mini 15 minutes, like especially like those mini naps. Let's go put that here. A mini nap is great. You get the rest, you get up and going. I had a friend who used to tell me, they used to tell me to drink a cup of coffee and then take a 15-minute nap. And then at the end of the 15-minute nap, I would be awake and live. Because they said that it takes coffee around 15 minutes to kick in. So if you're trying to get awake and up, drink a cup of coffee quickly, take a 15-minute nap, wake up, you'll be rested from the nap, and the coffee will start kicking in. I was like, okay. Tried it. I don't have an effect. I didn't feel an effect. But the same thing too, like I drink coffee and it doesn't necessarily change much. Energy drinks don't change much. If I drink 2 cups of coffee immediately back to back, I will feel awake and energized. I can drink 2 Red Bulls, one after the other, and still get sleepy. And I don't know what it is, and I think it's not the I don't know. Caffeine, hot liquid. Maybe the hot liquid is just, bubbling me inside, and that's why I'm awake and that's why I'm moving. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's just a good time. Yeah. I'm out of creamer. That was an issue, but I'm going on a trip, and so I don't want to buy creamer. I'm only here for 2 more days. I don't want to get creamer. I can get a little creamer, I guess, but I'm only going to drink cups of coffee in the morning, and then tomorrow I've got something that I'm doing, and I'm gonna go get coffee somewhere. Even when I have coffee like dates or coffee events, right? I'm going to go get coffee with somebody or have a coffee or do something. I still drink a cup of coffee before I go. Does anyone else? Do you guys do that? You are going to go get coffee, and you have a cup of coffee before you go get the other cup of coffee. I think that's hilarious. That's so funny. Why do we do that? Because we need to be awake, right? That's just funny. I like that. That's a fun little funky thought. So yeah, in that sense, I don't think I'm gonna buy creamer. Just don't think I'm gonna buy creamer. I'm just not gonna drink some coffee. I'm just gonna, if I need coffee, I'll go get coffee, and then yeah, we'll deal with it as it comes. It'll be a good old time. Not to be the most Midwestern dad ever, but the weather has finally turned and it's finally cool. It's so nice to go out and just relax in some nice non-hot weather. Can't stand hot weather. I'd rather take cold weather any day. Love to do that. Love the snow. Love putting on jackets and nice hoodies and other things like that. Sweaters. But that's also because I'm not super confident with my legs. We're getting there. We're gonna eventually get there, but right now, nope, not with that. That's where we're at. Although, you can do barbecues anytime. We're just cycling the same conversations over and over. Not every single week, but kind of. We didn't talk about truth and perspective, but we have talked about other things. I need to get back. I have a book that I'm reading, and I need to get back into it. I've also found this great. Okay, so I found this magazine called Plot, Plot. Don't come here. It's very hot here. Well, okay, all right, hot. At least air conditioning, right? Air conditioning happens, and that's a fun thing to do. Maybe that will be good. Maybe I need a little hotness in my life. I got this new. It was a magazine, right? It was an issues, publications, like kind of a magazine, kind of like a little pamphlet. It's called Plot, and it's got a collection, I think, of 8 different. I'm like looking over there. I'm like, I can't see it, but I kind of understand. It's got like 8 authors in it, and they write fiction. Right? Like all of this fun, it's like these fun little short stories, like 6 to 8 pages, enough to be like one chapter. I woke up this morning and my arm was I woke up and I was sleeping on my face, right? I usually sleep on my back. We're here, so we have to drink some this and, talk about something. So I was lying on my face, sleeping, and I woke up and my arms are sore. I was like, oh man, maybe that thing that I was working on yesterday that got me sore. But then I woke up and I could not get this arm to stop hurting, and it was terrible. It was like, ow. It was like an ow. It's like 30 minutes of just constantly trying to massage this arm so that it stopped hurting. I couldn't tell what was wrong with it. Does that mean I'm getting old? Does that mean I'm an old man where I'm waking up and I'm like, oh god, my body aches? No, so that was very painful. Where was I going with that? Stories, reading the stories, waking up, feeling like P. Diddy. I can't remember. I lost it. Lost my train of thought. I'm old. I'm getting dementia. I can't think of it. What am I doing? I don't really remember what I was talking about at all. plot, the thing, the magazine. It's great. It's fantastic. It's got a bunch of fun little stories in it. It's like the first one was about a race of aliens that only communicate via smell. So they like release gas that smells differently depending on what they want to say. Yeah? How's that feel? You okay? There we go. No? I was like, did I see a name tag? Free, please take it. I like this thing. I might try to theme the other room up with that. We'll see. Up to the top we go. Up to the top we go. It's a good book. It's a good magazine. So I'm excited to read more of the stories on it.
Here's some information.
Shh. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the information. I appreciate that. Here's some information. All right. So we got the lines done. Maybe put a little bit of bone meal out. Whoa. Ooh, the elevator. We actually caught the end of it. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm trying to brainstorm with some people that I know about what the next season's theme should be. Because they released the update, and the update is all about caves and cliffs. So it's about high areas and low areas. So what I'm thinking is that we kind of adapt that and go something with that theme, something, you know. Because this whole thing was supposed to be Nether themed, the Nether, like and so it was all about, you know, going through the Nether and then trying to escape from and being off the ground. This next one is more about caves and cliffs and, you know, going down, finding things, and then coming back and bringing them to the surface. So I kind of want to do some like Nether adventures. Plus they've got copper, which oxidizes. So that's really exciting. I love the fact that they're adding some functional mechanics in the game that kind of show the use of time. These guardians, just look at these iron golems just walking around, patrolling the place. And you can see the village in the distance. The village. There's a wolf in the village. So yeah, I'm trying to think of that, and if you have any suggestions, that'd be fantastic. Wow. They added a lot of sparkle effects to this. That's so many sparkles. Oh yeah. Wow. Look at that. That is quite a bit. I just want to finish up some of these lines to make it look okay. Yeah, they kind of went overboard with these effects a little bit. This is like something else. Yeah. Also, I think I want to do some sort of story. I like writing stories, and I like making narratives because I think they're more fun to follow and watch. And you know, everyone's a sucker for a story because they're good. They're good times. Ooh, this is a good question. What type of story is the most interesting to you? What do you enjoy? What type is it? Do you like mystery? Do you like drama? Is there something that? Do you like a tragic story where the hero doesn't win in the end, but they've learned a lesson, and everyone's like, "Ah, man, that's the worst. I hate it when that happens." I wish they could have just survived and done what they needed to do. You know what? I want to finish. Ooh, I should do a big old loop. That's what I'll do. Do a big old border of this stuff. I'll tell you this though. Starting over with all this is so difficult, and and we're playing on hard mode on the next one. This one's normal. Hard mode is scary. Very hot. Yes. Okay. No new comments. What was I saying? Stories. What type of stories do you like? I'm personally a fan of plot twists. I love plot twists. I love when it's like, oh no, I was totally not expecting that. And then you learn. Or I also love things when they're interconnected and when I love stories that make you realize something is important that you didn't think was important. You're like, oh wait, that was important in the first episode, you know? Or, oh my goodness, he was carrying that the entire time and now there's a bunch of value to it. I don't know why I like those types of things. I think it's because it's a giant payoff. I think it's just fun to see that. You're like, oh wow, yeah, I can't believe that he or she didn't understand that item was so important, or that experience was going to be like, or where you're like, oh wow, it was his dad the entire time. He thought it was just a random stranger who was traveling with him on the road, but it was actually his father. I'm not spoiling anything. I don't even know what I know what I'm referencing. There is a great book that I read that has that thing where but the problem in that book, it's great because they have him go on this whole journey with this man who is like a teacher and a mentor to him and does all these things, and then you find out later in like the next book that he was actually his father the entire time, and then in the first book he dies, and so he's grieving the loss of his teacher friend, and then he finds out later in the second book that it was actually his father the entire time, and that he didn't tell him because he didn't want to ruin it, and he felt guilty. Convoluted character development is the best. I love that. Complicated, not convoluted. Convoluted is a negative connotation. Complicated character development is amazing. And if you've got that in your story, I will probably enjoy it. Now with this, I'm hoping that we can get some more people on the server so we can kind of have some of these complicated character developments. See, look, I grew up on accident. What about you? What do you like? Do you like complicated character stories? Do you like big worlds? Do you like pretty, like, what about a story is most interesting to you? Because I think also for me, it's well thought out universes or worlds, right? Where you're just like, oh, I totally understand why that would happen. I have actually problems more with stories that do not follow their own structure, or in some way, shape, or form, they break their own rules. And that I can't do. I'm like, see, now I don't believe you because you just broke the rule that, oh, hey, every person here follows this thing. And then, you break your own rules, and then they don't follow the same law of the land. And that, I'm like, I don't really care for that. I'm like, that's not me. But I don't know. Maybe you like that. Maybe you like a little excitement. Complicated character journeys are always a plus. Always a plus. Golem, how are you? Can you move? You're standing on the block I need. Why is there no torches here? Well, okay. Easter eggs are always fun too. Those are more for movies and TV shows. I like seeing Easter eggs and seeing them pop out. You're like, oh, whoa, that's a reference to a different thing in a different universe or a different movie. Those are always great. I like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden. Oh, look, there's a goat here. Why is there a goat at the top? Oh, I guess it is high enough for them to spawn. That's fun. Oh, interesting. So actually, I wonder if there's a functionality for goats. Huh. That's a fun. I need to look up the mechanics of how goats spawn. Because if they spawn because of height, or is it biome specific? I think it's height. If it's related to height, then you could technically make a goat farm by building up high, and the only thing that could spawn up there would be a goat, because, well, if they just spawn right there, there's no grass. So they don't even, they're not connected to grass. I need to look into this because they're not connected to grass. And right now we're kind of in a hills biome, but not really. Is there a reason that you would want goats to spawn? I need to look into that. What is the reason for goats? Goats have milk. They also jump. They can also headbutt sometimes. Huh. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna spell something out. I need to see what it looks like. We're having fun. We're just enjoying it, and we'll probably, we'll spell something out. We'll use the rest of what we got, and then we'll say goodbye to this world. Oh, I have to. Ooh, that's right. I can't just. It's got to be all interconnected. Ooh, no. Let's make a pattern. Yeah, we'll make a pattern. Just so that way it looks official. Any traveling plans? Summer is a great time to travel to different places. I have some friends who are going to New Orleans. I love New Orleans. And now with everything opening back up, I kind of want to do. I know what I want. You know what I miss? Live music. I want to go to a jazz bar or jazz cafe and listen to some live music. That's what I want. That would be ideal. Yeah. Oh yeah. That would be so much fun. I would really enjoy that. You like jazz? You guys like jazz? Jazz is pretty good. There's also a bunch of different types of jazz. I can't remember what I was listening to. I was listening to Pat Metheny a couple days ago. There was I watched a musical, and they had a little song, and I looked it up on Spotify, and there's actually a jazz version of it. And I was like, oh, I gotta listen to this by Pat Metheny too. I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, let's do it. I wanna listen to this music. You guys like jazz? You like jazz? Also working on character voices. That's always fun. Trying to work on trying to get a good Plankton voice. From SpongeBob, the children's TV show. Children's, again, is kind of, I don't think that's the right word for it, but maybe. The young Nickelodeon show about a sponge named Bob. Well, his name, I guess, is SpongeBob. Which is the weirdest naming convention for a character. You literally named it after what he is and what he wears. SpongeBob SquarePants. That's like saying human man bandana head. Pineapple bandana. That's what it should be. And that's me. That's me. If we did a TV show about me, that's what I would be. Human boy pineapple bandana. But we don't call people like that because that would be weird if we called people that. But we don't think about it because everyone just knows that that's exactly what it was. I bet the pilot episode was weird. But they were like, this is odd. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I should still spell it out. I want to spell it out. Oh yeah, I think this is gonna work. This is our final hurrah on this season. Once we get this done, it'll be good. No, no, zombies. 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 Go away. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go, go, go. Whew. We made it. We made it. Guys, we made it. We made it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. They're out. They're out for blood. There's a witch. Bet she was attracted to this weird landscape. She was like, this is perfect. I can make all the things I need. Bye-bye. Is it one? There's only one? How tall is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven tall. We can do that. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But the O is off shape. Just to that direction. To that. No, that's perfectly fine. Actually, I'm toast in my class. Some things get stuck in your brain and you can never get rid of them. That's from the movie Narnia. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. How wide is it, though? I don't think I have enough room to spell this other one. It's okay, I guess. Can you guess what I'm spelling? Can you? Can you do it? I don't think you can. I don't think you know. I'm working on it. Alright, let's go. Did I pick it up or no? Didn't pick it up. I picked it up now. Oh. Ooh, that was a nasty fall. I can't make it. I can't get the little tiny hole. It's okay. Now we just need to replace it because I messed up the lettering a little bit. But that's okay. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not judge me. Go. Come on. I can do this. We can do this. Together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tall. That's not. Well, okay. We'll figure it out. That'll be better. Two? Yeah. Okay, I think I can do this. Yep. I'm trying to think what the next letter is. I'm trying to spell a word out, but I don't know if I can do this. How did I do the other one? A 2. A 3. Perfect cycle. A perfect cycle. Okay. 1, 2, there it is. To answer all your questions at once. Stories, fantasy, travel plans, none so far. Excellent. Sorry, I'm hyper-focused because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I don't know how to do this, but we will make it work. It's okay. Summer is only just now starting, so we can... There's plans to be made, for sure. Alright. There it is. Here it is. Let's see if we made it look pretty okay. Yeah, alright. Let's fly over it to get a better look. And then we'll sign off. End of season 2! Woo! Can we... Yeah. Ooh, that's perfect. If I can make it work. Over my shoulder, there it is. End of season 2. That's it. That's all I got for you. This has been exciting. Woo! End of season 2. On to season 3. It's gonna be great. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this. It's been fantastic. You guys have been great. I've loved it. Season 3 is coming. It is a little bit in the works. We've got a little more we want to do and get some more people involved. But it's going to happen and it's going to be fantastic. You guys are great. I really appreciate you. Next time you'll see, it's going to be a bit of a journey. We've got nothing that we have. I think I just now got a diamond pickaxe. And I'm really trying to finish this main central area before starting season 3. But we're going to do it, and it's going to be great. You guys have been amazing. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'll see you when I see you, and I really appreciate you for tuning in. Until next time.